Little thing. Bing, bing, we're in.
Okay.
Mari Llewellyn. How'd I do?
Perfect.
Okay. Welcome.
Thank you.
Pleasure to have you. I'm a big fan. If you don't mind, I'd like to just give people the room, quick intro. Who are you? What are you doing? How's it going?
What am I doing? I don't know. My name is Mari Llewellyn. I'm from the UK originally, but I've moved around my whole life. My dad works for the United Nations, so I pretty much bounced around from the UK to Switzerland, back to the UK.
Okay.
Ended up in New York. Grew up in New York from age 10 onwards.
Wow.
Went to school in Philadelphia. I won't go into too much detail, but I had, kind of a rock bottom experience in my life. I didn't have the best family life, and definitely everything kind of came to a head for me in college. Mentally, physically, I was really unhealthy. I found fitness in 2017. I ended up losing 90 pounds.
Wow.
And that was basically the start of my entire career. Now we're in 2023 and I have a couple businesses. I have Bloom Nutrition, which is a supplement company for women. And I also have a podcast called The Pursuit of Wellness.
Okay.
And now I'm sitting here with you.
Okay, incredible. Well, I'm glad you're here.
I know. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Can you talk about that initial first step into fitness and wellness, and what was that like? I'm sure it was scary, and also, what did you do?
Yeah. So I pretty much had never stepped into a gym. I had no interest in fitness or health at all. I kind of grew up in I always say like a European style household. We always had baguettes and cheese around.
So nice.
Like it was so nice. Like that was the vibe. So we ate well, but it wasn't healthy necessarily. And I wasn't really aware of my body or how I felt. And then in college, my mental health was really, really bad. I was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder. I was put on 3 different medications at the same time: antipsychotics, anti-anxiety, depression, which I'm not against medication, but to be put on that many medications at the same time was just a lot for my body.
Yeah.
And I pretty much checked out of reality, couldn't feel anything. And I was gaining weight really rapidly. So I was drinking alcohol, eating really bad, on a number of medications. I was around 250 pounds at my heaviest. And I'd never really been concerned with my body before. And it was the first time where I was like, wow, I look different. I feel awful. Could barely get out of bed. Was failing every class at college. So I ended up pulling myself out of school. Had to move back home. And reality kind of hit. And I was like, I got myself in this position. It was a moment where I realized I was the one who was responsible for where I was. Didn't have a job, didn't have a degree, didn't really have any goals in my life. And I was dating my now husband, Greg, who has been a bodybuilder. He says from the womb. I guess it was from middle school, but he basically, from what I know, has been jacked his whole life and is obsessed with weightlifting. So I said to him, I kind of want to try this. I want to gain some control back. And I started kind of mimicking the way he eats. So he would be eating 6 eggs a day, a bowl of oatmeal, bodybuilder style food. And I just started eating exactly what he was eating. And, eventually I figured out how to fine tune it to me.
Sure.
Because obviously I don't need to be eating 8 eggs in a day. But anyway, figured that out. He showed me, compound movements, how to lift weights. And I kind of fell in love. And I think it gave me some control over my life because I was living in chaos, basically. And that was the first step. I went really slow at first. I was pretty much just walking every day. I just got out the door and started moving, tweaking my diet. My diet was really the first thing that I started with because I was eating really bad before. I was eating muffins, 2 muffins every day, iced coffees this big with milk and sugar.
Right.
You could not catch me. I don't think I've had a muffin in 6 years. Nothing against muffins.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're amazing, but they were not serving me mentally or physically. So finding whole nutrient dense foods, and that's where I really started.
Got it. Yeah, I think to your point, growing up, you just kind of here's all this food, you don't even think about it, and no one's teaching you about kind of the nutrients, macros. Am I in a deficit? Am I in a 100 calorie surplus or 2,000. So it's tough for anyone, but look at you now. And shout out Greg.
Shout out Greg.
What a champ.
What a champ. And also shout out MyFitnessPal because it taught me everything I know about food. Like I was tracking everything at the beginning.
Got it.
And I think that's what taught me. I didn't really understand what a protein, carb, or a fat was until I started tracking my food. And now I don't track my food. I don't need to. But I will say it did teach me a lot at the beginning.
Do you think it's like laziness from people or just like there's a little intimidation? Because a lot of people have the access in their pocket with their phone, but they don't take that initial step of like, let me Google what this means. Let me figure out a good plan.
It's tough to say because I do think there's like an accessibility factor with health. I think in the US in particular, healthy food is expensive. And I feel like there is something to say about when you are affluent, you have more access to information, naturopaths, healthier food, and that bothers me for sure. But I do also think there's a way to go about eating a healthy diet in an affordable way. If you go to Costco or you go to Stop and Shop or whatever it may be and go look at the produce.
Stop and Shop's Brooklyn days.
Right.
Yeah.
It's Brooklyn days. I mean, grocery shopping in Brooklyn was kind of hard, I will say, because 4 flights of stairs with grocery bags is...
No bueno. And you said, real quick, just not to throw you off, you grew up in Prospect Park?
So I grew up in Scarsdale in Westchester, but then I ended up living in Prospect Park.
Got it.
Do you know Connecticut Muffin on that roundabout where Prospect Park is? Right there.
Okay, got it.
For a year. And I went to Harbor Fitness.
Okay, yeah, Harbor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I grew up south Sheepshead Bay.
Yeah.
But there was like a stint of time where I worked at Harbor Fitness in Park Slope.
Oh, that's where I lived, Park Slope. I'm sorry, but I went to Prospect Park every day.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. I could see you there.
The red shirts.
Oh, yeah.
And,
I loved it there. It was like a dungeon vibe.
Yeah.
Because there was no windows.
Right.
You've been there with me. No? Okay. Anyway, where was I?
Yeah.
What was I talking about?
And just so we let the people know who you're pointing at.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys. My assistant and best friend Fee is here with me.
What's up,
and
girl?
she's really been there through the whole ride. So, what was I talking about before Brooklyn?
Stop and Shop. We were just talking.
Oh, right.
Yes.
The accessibility factor. In terms of laziness, yeah, I do think that there's an element of I would rather not know what is in my food. I think it's easier to just eat and not think about it. I think there's a large percentage of the population who's just kind of complacent when it comes to food and exercise, and they'd rather just not face it head on.
Got it.
But yeah, I think if you do take the time to educate yourself a little bit on food, it's really eye-opening. Because I'm not really into calorie restricting. I'm more into like what's in this, ingredient wise.
That's awesome. And at what point in your journey you're getting healthier, you're getting fitter, young love is in the horizon? And at what point did Bloom come about?
So Bloom was always a thought because on my fitness journey, I would go to GNC and look for supplements that spoke to me. And I felt like a lot of them were very masculine marketed. It was a lot of like Muscle Destroyer, like red, black, crazy, obviously C4, which we love. Exactly. But like not for me or my community. My community were all women, new to fitness, looking for something that was like approachable, friendly, yummy, easy to incorporate in my routine. So I would come home with all these supplements and Greg would be like, oh no, you can't take this. This has like X amount of caffeine. It has all this stuff in it. So all of 2018, I was selling my PDF workout guides for $5. That was our main business. And in the meantime, we were sampling for Bloom and we were sampling for natural pre-workouts. So we ended up launching in January of 2019. And I don't know how many followers I had at this point, maybe like 500,000.
Okay.
And I was sharing everything with them, like the label ideas, because we did everything ourselves from the beginning. Labels, website, social media, customer service. I was taking the photo of what the picture was on the bottle. Like we were doing everything ourselves, which we should not have been. But like that's how you start a business. You just gotta have to be scrappy about it.
Yeah.
We launched in January 2019 and sold out. And we were like, okay, think we have something here. So we just kept putting products out that made sense, and ultimately landed on greens right before COVID. And we made greens because I wanted an all-in-one fruits and veggies supplement that tasted really good, that helped me with hangovers and bloating.
Sure.
And it ended up just hitting, and everyone loved it. We kept selling out over and over and over and over, mostly because we couldn't afford to keep enough in stock because we were self-funded, so we didn't have enough capital. Eventually just kept building it up, and now we are mainly a greens company.
Got it. Where is it sold mostly?
Meaning,
Bloom.
like which country?
Or country, stores, online.
So we used to mostly just be D2C. Now we're like largely Amazon,
Okay.
a lot of Target,
Got it.
Walmart, and obviously our Shopify. More retailers coming soon.
Was it a little scary, like that initial meeting with Walmart, Target, trying to get into? Because I know like fighting for shelf space is hard.
Terrifying.
With CPG.
Terrifying.
Yeah, so how'd that go?
We literally started calling Target, I want to say 2+ years ago, and I remember the initial call with the buyer, and he kind of laughed in our faces and was like, there's no way. He was like, people pitch me this stuff all the time, there's no way. And we had to keep calling back. I literally remember the first ever video call, because Target was my dream retailer always. Like I was like, my girl is a Target girl, I just know, because I was one.
Yeah.
And we just had to keep calling back and basically begging. And the first shelf space we got was on the bottom shelf, 2 rows. You could barely see us. And we sold out. Like you could not find Bloom on the shelf. Now we have an end cap. So when you walk down the main aisle of Target, we're right there with a massive end cap.
What a legend. Yeah.
But it was a fight to get that.
Right.
And I will say, like, the girls who support Bloom are amazing, because now we're all over the country. And we've been selling really well. We were number 1 in the supplement category.
Okay.
We might still be. Greg knows those statistics really well, but my husband Greg. But yeah, we had the number 1 selling SKU in history for our category.
It's incredible.
So we've had a journey for sure.
Yeah, sounds like it. I definitely want to touch up on some of the stuff we mentioned earlier, just like those early days.
Yeah.
And like what you implement now in your health journey and fitness journey. But for someone that, because there's a lot of great products out there and there's a lot of crap out there, but how do you implement the product in your day-to-day? Because sometimes people enjoy coffee and they want the greens, they want this and that, and next thing you know, you got 6 different cups in front of you. So how do you go about doing that?
Yeah, that's fair. I know that happens to me too. So I personally, when I wake up, I work out right away. I wake up at like 5:30, 5:45, go to the gym, get the workout in. Coffee doesn't come for me until a bit later, probably like 8. First, I'll do my greens before I eat. For me, it's just easier to get it done. But they do taste really good, so you could throw them in a smoothie or whatever like wellness beverage you're making. Like if you want to mix it with your glutamine or any other supplements you take, you totally could do that.
Got it.
Because they taste pretty good. And then breakfast, I have my coffee and go about my day. I mean, I have a pretty intense vitamin regimen. So I actually have one of those like massive pill organizers from Amazon.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Exactly.
Got it, yeah.
I think they're for senior citizens, but I have one in my bag right now.
That's great.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Okay.
All my different things. Because I've been on a bit of a hormonal journey lately. I had some like candida and other issues that I've been fixing. But yeah, greens for me are the first thing I do, but you can take them any time of day. Like whatever you're going to be consistent with is perfect.
Got it. Why the early start for the workout? Just schedule or preference?
Both, I think. Definitely schedule, because I'm at the office 9 to 5, sometimes more. But also I just feel like I wake up with the most energy. Like I'm not someone who could end my day and then be like off to the gym. No. I'm like done at 5 or 6.
And does Greg still do the programming for you, or you kind of got it down?
No.
So what does it look like right now for your training program?
So I will train on my app, the Strength app. I have a trainer named Paulina, who's a Polish savage. Like she's 6-pack, shredded. She's incredible.
Okay.
She'll train me sometimes, which is really nice because I feel like I can just roll into the gym and kind of not think about it. And we follow the program from the app. Sometimes I'll go by myself. I do Pilates once a week. So I'm probably weight training 4 times a week, Pilates once, and I do a lot of walking.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. And if you only have kind of 30 minutes to work out certain days because you're busy, what are you typically trying to fit in?
I would probably do a full body weight training session. And I don't take a lot of rest breaks. Like I am someone who loves a triple superset.
Yeah.
So I'll do back to back
Yeah.
3 exercises. I don't really like the rest period. I like to keep moving.
Okay.
So while I'm traveling, actually, like while I'm here, I prefer to do a full body because I feel like I don't have the time really to do like a full leg day or a full shoulder day. So and also the equipment's limited.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
Not a Collective.
I love to hear that. Yeah. Shout out Collective. I love to hear that, you know, and then initially you started with a lot of those compound movements.
Yeah.
And more, thankfully, we're seeing like women are really excited about getting strong and really strong. And it's not this like stigma of bulkiness or blah, blah, blah anymore. So you still implement some strength training, I would imagine.
100%. I feel like that's the core. I think that will always be the core of my training because I think it's what changed my body to begin with. And I think a lot of people are surprised when they ask me how I lost 90 pounds. They assume I was like running and doing Stairmaster. I really wasn't doing that much cardio. It was mostly weightlifting. And a lot of like heavy movements. And I feel like people don't realize how many calories those truly burn and the way it completely changes your body composition. Like I think women look more feminine when they have more muscle. I know that sounds crazy, but like a lot of women have this perception that you pick up a weight and you're suddenly bulky. It takes such a long time to build that kind of muscle.
Right.
Like I wish I could get to that level. But I think the look of like a defined shoulder and glutes and legs and all those things looks really, really good. So I think for me, weight training will always be such an important part. And it just makes you a more functional human as well.
Yeah, it's more practical in your day-to-days. Prior to us sitting down, I had Mark Consuelos in here, great friend of mine, and similar, he works with his wife. Tell me a little bit about that, the pros and cons.
Yeah.
You know, some of the moments that get a little sticky, and then some that just are really great because you make each other better.
Yeah, my eyes like twitching while you ask me that. No, it is challenging for sure. And Greg and I have been through so much together. We've been together now almost 10 years. We met when we were like 20, 21 years old. So this business is kind of like our child, you know, and he was involved from the very beginning, from when I had my first PDF. He is a true entrepreneur. Like I cannot imagine him doing anything else. He really is such a business mind. He loves it. He loves the game.
Amazing.
Loves being a CEO. I wouldn't personally love that. I love branding. I love creative. I love talking to people and connecting. And I feel like we are in the perfect roles for ourselves in our business, which is so fantastic. He gets to do what he's so good at, and I get to do what I'm so good at. So as the business has grown, we are not next to each other all day, every day, which is helpful. At the beginning, we were really like in the weeds together, which is hard. But I think we work really well together because we just have completely different skill sets and we kind of complement each other in that way. He's such a good leader with our team, and I really have seen him evolve into that role. I have the podcast. I get to help with the events. I get to talk about influencers and branding. So it's challenging. And I think the biggest challenge is not bringing it home. Like we sit down at the dinner table and all we want to talk about is like, did you see this happen? Did you see that email? Oh my gosh, what are we going to do about this? It's really, really hard. Yeah. I mean, he literally, the second we wake up, he's talking about work. He's crazy. So that's challenging, but we are always learning. And at the end of the day, we love what we do. So, yeah. I think,
you know, you saying it's kind of like both of your child, you know, this whole business. And with anything comes trust. It's really hard in the beginning, especially when it's like your business, to not want to be involved in everything because in your mind it's like, no, I can do this better than everybody.
Yeah.
It takes time and trust to be like, okay, I acknowledge that this isn't my strong suit.
Yeah.
And this is yours. And you do this, I'm going to do this. So it's great that's why you're so successful.
Thank you.
You know, because otherwise it's going to be a nightmare.
Letting go of the big responsibilities was very hard for me. I remember, I think it was like a year or so ago when we were really handing things off. It was like a grieving process for me to let go of that control. But now we have handed things off to people who are so much better at it than we are. And I can really see, okay, like this person knows what they're doing. They've been in it for years. But it's nice to collaborate with people like that because then I learn more at the same time. So yeah, it's hard, but such a great learning process at the same time.
Love it. And what do you guys think of Austin?
Oh, obsessed.
Yeah.
Obsessed.
So right now you're both living where?
We live in Venice, California.
Venice, California, which is really nice.
It's nice.
Yeah.
It's funky. We've definitely grown our careers a lot there and met some amazing people. It just doesn't feel as safe anymore.
Yeah.
That's the hard part. And I think I come here and I feel so much more safe. I feel like you guys have a great fitness community. Love all the trees.
A lot of trees. Yeah, Texas doesn't play games. They don't play around, Texas.
No.
Yeah.
No.
And on the other side, a more softer side, it has amazing things that we enjoy. Being outdoors,
Yeah.
exercising, eating well. That's really awesome. And do you ever visit New York?
Yeah, we're actually going right after this trip.
Okay.
We're going to do a bunch of podcast interviews, some meetings. My family's still there. Greg's family's still there. So we're going to go see them. And I love in Austin that you're kind of like a travel hub. So I guess it's 3 hours to New York, 2 hours to LA.
Yeah.
So you're kind of like in the perfect spot.
Yeah, it's not bad. Little time difference.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not bad.
To me, that would be an advantage because if I'm here and the meeting starts at 9 in LA, it's 11 here. So I get a head start on
Big
everyone.
time. Yeah,
So.
it's not too bad.
I'm excited about that.
Are you still pretty tight with your family?
I would say so. We have an interesting relationship.
Yeah. I'll give you my kind of thoughts on, I talk about this with a lot of my friends and clients. You know, a lot of us are kind of, we broke this mold or created a whole new narrative. So sometimes I could be sitting with my mom or a relative, and aside from us being blood, like it's like a weird moment of, whoa, this is my mom, but we have nothing in common, or, you know, we talk almost daily, but it's like the minutia. What'd you do? How are you? And I'm thankful I have those calls and can. You know, I don't have my father anymore, but I have that with my mom. But it's still, there's times where it's like that 2-minute call feels like 2 hours because it's the same. I'm trying to do a lot, and I have my son now, whereas they'll go for a walk and it's like the same thing and the same gossip. How do you navigate like being an entrepreneur, being a wife, and potentially, you know, you're traveling all the time, but then still catching up with back home?
Yeah, such a good question. And I agree with you. I think a lot of people who, almost everyone I've sat with on my podcast who's successful has some level of trauma and some sort of history there. And I think a lot of people who are successful and at the top of their game have been through something hard. And I do think it isolates you. What's the quote? They say it's lonely at the top of the mountain.
Yeah.
Windier at the top of the mountain.
Yeah.
Lonely and windy.
There's a few.
It's lonely and windy up here.
Chilly up there.
But it really is challenging. And I feel like not a lot of people understand what you're experiencing, you know, like the level of responsibility, the challenges. It looks from an exterior perspective really easy and fun and glamorous, but on the inside it's quite difficult. And I think the things that you experience on a day-to-day are so much heavier than what most people can relate to, and that applies to your family as well. So, you know, I'm not sure my family really understands what I do for a living, if I'm being completely honest. They're from the UK, and in the UK, breaking out of the mold and being an entrepreneur is sort of not the norm. It's not really encouraged. So I think I've had to learn how to have empathy for them and understand, you know, they weren't raised to understand what I do. And they're doing the best they can. And there's been a lot of forgiveness there, and a lot of, you know, I've been through different stages with my relationship with my family. But now I'm at the point where I love the fact that I feel like I can be there for them more than they can be there for me. And I get enjoyment out of that, you know, calling and checking in, seeing how they're doing, giving advice if I can on health. flying them out to LA to come see us. I really enjoy connecting with them in this new way, and also just knowing they probably will never understand my life, but that's okay.
Yeah, it kind of flips as we get to a certain level of, okay, these calls are about them.
Yes.
This is for them
Yes.
more than it is for me.
Right.
And I think looking back in, God willing, many, many years, it's like I really miss those 2-3 minute calls.
Yeah.
But for the time being, like, it's empathy, compassion. Let me just be present for these few minutes.
Exactly.
And then go on about the day.
Exactly. I think, it's been a learning process for me for sure. And now I know if I need support and I need help, that's just not where I'm going to go.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I will say Greg's mum is our accountant.
Okay.
For Bloom. So she's in the weeds.
That's
and I
good.
talk to her a lot.
That's
so
helpful.
It's helpful. And she kind of does actually get what's going on. But she's a savage. She's like money.
Yeah, I love that.
Always talking numbers. She's crazy.
I want to touch upon earlier your kind of scare with the health journey.
Yeah.
And kind of like how'd you process those thoughts? And do you reflect on them today? Do you pull from those moments that were hard and implement them today to help you, when you reach an obstacle?
Yeah, 100%. I feel like before that downfall or whatever you want to call it, I was kind of just floating through life, and bad things would happen to me, but I would ignore them or I would deal with them in unhealthy ways and distract myself, which I think is what a lot of people do for their whole lives.
Sure.
A lot of people are okay with things being, I don't love my job. I don't love where I live. I don't love my friends, but it's fine. It's not that bad. And I think a lot of people are okay with that for a long time. And I kind of think hitting a rock bottom where everything's awful and you literally have no choice but to fix it is kind of a blessing, because it's the only thing that will kind of get you to wake up.
Yep.
And I kind of feel lucky that I had that experience, because I think before that I was just floating and, dealing with never being the best at anything. I didn't really have high aspirations for myself. I think I didn't really understand my true value for a long time. And then hitting that rock bottom forced me to tap into the parts of myself I didn't even know. So each day just showing up was like a challenge, just getting to the gym, just putting my shoes on, just having the healthy meal. But each time I checked the box, I felt more and more confident in myself. And I feel like that's the best way to build your confidence, is to just keep showing up and checking the box and keeping your own promises day in, day out. And the next thing I knew, I lost 90 pounds. Like, if you just show up every single day, you'd be shocked at what you can do. Yeah. And I do try to tap into that. Like, now when I have, my problems now are very different than they used to be. That now it's not so much about that. It's maybe more of like a business thing, or it's something on the team. It's usually like, something work related. I do try to tap into, okay, like, what to do, what works, just keep showing up every single day and checking those boxes.
Love it. Is there anything kind of more day to day that you pull from inspiration when you need it?
I feel I like looking at other highly successful people, for sure. And I've been lucky that I've gotten to meet some amazing people in what I do and just see what they've been able to accomplish. I feel like this comes off a little bit toxic sometimes, but I feel like I am motivated by fear. Like, I don't want to slip backwards ever and be who I used to be. So a little bit of it is like, let me keep proving myself wrong and show myself I can get to the next level.
Yeah, that's important.
And I apply that to work and fitness, like the podcasts are hard. Like, it's a lot of work. And I feel like I've had to get truly obsessed with it in order to keep going.
I think how we met through Doug, he does a really good job, and is kind of like, to that point, we talk about this, him and I, if you're really going to do it, and even if you do have like a team that's doing booking, and scheduling and, recording and editing, that definitely makes it a lot easier. But even still, it's like, getting people to show up on time, different things like that. It's hard. It's it's another full-time job,
Oh my gosh.
which is very challenging. Do you are there any podcasts or people that you kind of will watch, listen to?
Oh, yeah. I love Ed Milet.
Okay.
I really like Chris Williamson, Andrew Huberman.
Yep.
I've been into the Toast lately.
Okay.
I listen to a few. I kind of like to dabble around the different topics and just see what people are doing. Sure. Alex Cooper's killing it with her new network. They say that most podcasters drop off after like 5 episodes.
Yeah.
So just by doing more than 5 episodes, you're already in the top 1%.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Wild. Yeah. That's nuts.
I know. We're already winning.
Yeah, we're winning.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're winning. Just like you said, just by showing up.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get that. It's tough, but I think because we're performing at a pretty high level, it's all relative, but we're doing our best. It tends to keep things interesting and keeps people engaged to like what's next, what's going on. On that note, what's next and what's going on?
Oh,
Mari.
I like that.
Yeah.
So much I can't say yet,
Yeah.
but like actually what's going to happen, but really exciting things behind the scenes. Really big retailers coming. We just launched a new greens flavor with an influencer as a collab, the Mama Carl's collab. It's orange passion fruit greens. Ooh. Delicious. We're working on expanding internationally.
Okay.
Lots of new products coming. Lots of great episodes coming on the pursuit of wellness. I think that sums it up. I wish I could say more detail.
Yeah, no. It's great. It's super exciting, and it's probably still surreal in many moments to have conversations that could mean, a whole new category for you guys.
Yeah, no, it's wild to be in this position. I think sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
It feels like yesterday that I was like, I don't know, losing the weight and like on the treadmill and I don't know, it's funny.
I know the business is your guys' family and baby right now, but do you have any dogs? Do you have any kids on the horizon?
I have 2 dogs, Lulu and Arnold. I just got a new puppy.
Yep.
Arnold, named after Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Sure, of course.
Looks just like him. And I would love to have kids.
Yeah.
That's part of the reason we're considering Austin, because I feel like this is a good place to raise a family. You could probably tell me better than anyone, but yeah. Yeah,
it certainly is. Speaking of Arnold, real quick, just the showing up mentality. 70s, maybe, or maybe even a little older.
I see him at the gym all the time.
It's incredible. He rides his bike, right?
Literally.
And just starts pumping iron.
He's the only person that doesn't lock his bike.
Yeah.
No one touches it.
Yeah.
Everyone knows, do not touch that bike. And I've literally seen him, like, he shares machines with people.
So nice.
So crazy.
Yeah. Did you see his documentary?
Yes. Oh my God, of course.
What a full life.
I know.
Yeah.
I want to read his book. What's the book called?
Arnold Schwarzenegger's story, maybe?
I forget what it's called.
Be Useful.
Be Useful.
That's right.
That's such a him title.
Powerful few words.
He also has a lot of pets, which I really like. He has a donkey, a horse.
Yeah.
Dogs.
Yeah, he does a whole routine before he even
Oh yeah. No, he's killing it.
Yeah.
100%.
I think now that his kids are older, and once they kind of leave the nest, it's like you need you'll see, you have so much purpose right now. And then once there's another like being that you have to care for, it's like this moment of, this is what it's about. This is bigger than everything else. And I guess when they grow up, it's like, let me get a horse because they'll need me and I need to take care of them. And
I actually have a horse right now too. I forgot to mention
Okay.
I love horses.
Where do you keep the horse?
He lives down in like Orange County area, but I will be bringing him here for sure.
Yeah, you have to.
I'm obsessed with him. Yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah, down in like Dripping Springs, more of the countryside.
Okay.
It's a lot more land, a lot of horses. It's really nice.
I got to check that out
because
I'm a big horse girl.
Yeah, and I think you kind of being in like New York or LA, a 20-30 minute drive isn't the end of the world. It's like, it sounds great. If I can come into the city real quick for a meeting, a podcast, a workout, and then boom, I'm back on my,
a dream
ranch or wherever you have.
100%.
It's special.
100%. I'm in LA. 20 minutes doesn't get you very far. So
No, it's brutal.
yeah.
Yeah, I haven't been in a long time, but anytime I would go, I would see just friends in like Beverly Hills, West Hollywood. I'd love Santa Monica
Yeah.
in that area, but you got to really commit to getting out there.
100%. We live in Venice and we don't leave Venice
Yeah.
because we don't need to. So
No,
we just chill,
Yeah.
stay there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then I don't know if you ever played pickleball at all, but it's pretty popular here.
Okay, so I've played maybe twice now and I love it. I
Yeah.
think it's awesome. And I know some girls actually that go to Collective that are part of the Rangers pickleball? Ranchers pickleball.
Yeah.
What is that?
So Ranchers is the Texas team for pickleball.
Got it.
Yeah, there's like it's a big league. There's a lot of money in it. There's a lot of stuff happening.
Okay.
And then there's all these little communities here, like on the east side, west side. There's one opening up called East Side Paddle Club. Then there's a lot of like really private, cool courts. I'll take you to those too.
Oh, that would be amazing.
And it's just a lot of fun, and it's an outdoor activity.
Yeah.
And as you get better, it's like it gets pretty. You're sweating. You're exhausted.
I need to get better. I need lessons, honestly, because I want to be good.
And then padel is another one that's coming here too.
Padel.
Which is the one you're in the glass box of emotions hitting the ball. Yeah.
That's like a fancy way of saying paddle. Padel.
I think so, yeah. I think so.
And I've seen the rooftop one.
Yeah.
That looks amazing.
Yeah, that's here too.
Bloom should sponsor a pickleball team.
Yeah, let me know. I'll plug it all in. It's a lot of fun.
Okay,
You
amazing.
ever play? I have. Okay. Okay. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I sucked originally 2 years ago. Someone was like, "Do you play?" I was like, "Pal, give me the paddle." I got it. And I was fine, but like I didn't have any finesse with it.
Are you competitive? Yeah.
Like to win.
Yeah,
You
for
know?
sure.
Otherwise, what am I doing?
I am too. And I played with a bunch of people who were like, they were just there for fun. They were chilling. And I was like, no, guys, like we need to let's go.
Yeah, now the joke is, all right, guys, friendly game, bang. And you start serving hard.
I would like to go hardcore,
Yeah.
but I need to get better in order to go as hard as I want to go.
Correct.
You
and
know
then,
what I mean?
Yeah, and then the game becomes much more athletic once you're really good.
Diving.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun. There's some spiking going on. You gotta be careful.
I'm so down.
Yeah.
And I also want to hit the lake. I've seen that the lake here is a big part
it's
of
special.
the life.
Paddle boarding, wake surfing, is really popular here. It's awesome, and the weather. I mean, this summer was rough. This was like I think my first real summer here, and we had probably 3 weeks of just in the hundreds every day.
I saw that.
But again, if you're pretty fit and athletic and want to be outside, it's fun to play. And then, Collective, we have the location south and then north, and there's always cold plunges nearby too, which is a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's probably actually crucial during that time.
Do you participate in any of the hot cold therapy?
Yeah, so we actually have a ice bath and a sauna at my house, and we're addicted to it.
There you go.
So I'm in there probably 2-3 times a week.
Okay.
Greg's in there every day. Every day, especially for anxiety. I feel like to just sit in the ice bath cures all.
Yeah.
I'm not good at staying in there past, I probably do like a minute 30.
Okay.
But I go back and forth.
Sure. That's healthy. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of studies on it, and coming up more and more. One, just for stress and sleep. The getting rid of that fog is amazing. And I try to, at first it was similar to probably Greg. It's like, this is a cheat code for like a healthy dopamine kick and getting me going.
Yeah.
So like, I'm doing it. And then, I think Greg's probably pretty strong, big guy. I'm trying to get a little bigger and a little stronger. So there's a lot of studies that say like, don't do it too close to your lifting days and, anything too metabolic.
He's obsessed with the spacing of it. He's like terrified of ruining his workouts.
Yeah.
He's like, he has them all spaced out like really strategically.
I like him a lot already.
Yeah, you're going to love him. You're going to love it.
Yeah, so that's super important. Well, okay, so you're here. Did you do any of the F1 weekend stuff?
Yes, we were at F1 yesterday from like probably 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. It was awesome. I mean, we didn't know what was going on. Like, we truly don't understand the sport at all. Definitely need to do more research next time. But we had such a good time. We were in the Sports Illustrated suite.
Yep.
I think I saw Jeremy there.
Yeah, you sure? Doesn't really leave the house much.
I feel like it was him.
Okay. Maybe.
Let's find out.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe it wasn't him.
Yeah.
I don't know. He was at the body armor booth.
Okay, so maybe.
May have been him.
Sure.
But anyway, it was really fun. Hot. Really hot.
Okay.
Um,
Just kind of annoyed I didn't get invited to the Sports Illustrated by him, so I'm gonna log that.
You're triggered. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna log that. Shoot him a text after.
You should have come with us.
I'm kidding.
Come with us next time. But I know the big days are today and Sunday.
Yeah, I'm going tonight.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
I actually didn't see. My husband saw Joe Jonas in the lobby of our hotel, and he's going.
Love that.
Where are you going to sit? The paddocks?
It's unclear. I just give me
Okay.
the ticket, give me the room, and go. I'm not
Nice.
sure.
Nice.
Yeah.
Apparently, people go in the paddocks, it's called, which is where you're down with the racers, where all the tires are being changed. Crazy.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm not really too familiar with the sport.
I know, we don't deserve to be in the paddocks.
No, we don't.
No, we'd be in the way.
Yeah, but I am really open and excited to learn about it.
Same.
Because people are super passionate about it.
Yeah.
I think like any other sport, you start to really take an interest in the drivers and their stories, and the next thing you know, you're hooked.
I agree. Anyone that's like disciplined and passionate about something, I'm into. You know, like for me, I love the horse world, and I love all that stuff, and I can apply that to anything.
Did you ever compete in any equestrian?
So I picked it up about a year ago as an adult, which is kind of weird. Like most people start horseback riding when they're really young, but it's very expensive. So I didn't do that as a child, and I just got into it a year ago, and I'm doing my first ever competition in a couple weeks.
Okay, so let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Because like I used to train a bunch of Olympians randomly in New York.
Riders?
Riders.
No way.
Yeah, that do the jumps and do all the stuff, and
amazing.
It's definitely an interesting sport. It's very intense because it's kind of like surfing in the regard of like, okay, you have a whole nother variable here that can go one or two ways.
Yep.
It's very interesting. It's beautiful. It's a great sport.
Yeah, you have a 1,500-pound animal under you, and you've no idea what it will do.
What they're thinking, what they want to do, exactly.
Yep.
But that's exciting.
It's exciting. I've never competed in anything other than business in my life.
Sure.
So this will be, I just find it so fun, and I love horses so much. I just want to experience it and see how it goes.
Yeah.
I'm hoping I find a horse community out here in Austin. We'll see. But like you said, with the cars, just being around people who are passionate about something, I think is really cool. We love Lewis Hamilton.
Yep.
He's also the only one that I'm really familiar with. So
Okay. Shout out Lewis.
Shout out Lewis. He's amazing. He has a very cool mindset. Yeah. Hope you have a good time.
Yeah. I'm excited.
Let us know how it goes.
I'm excited.
Is your son going?
No, but I'm gonna send him photos.
Yeah.
No, he's not, but he probably would do better than me there. You know, an old 2.5-year-old running around.
Sneak into the paddocks.
Exactly. That would be a lot of fun. Okay, so then you're flying out when?
We fly to New York on Monday.
Got it. I'll be there November-ish.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, November 3rd or 4th, something like that.
Are you doing something there? Are you building a collective?
No, no collective there. So I don't know if you know this. Like I have this pretty big scar here. You know, random. I don't know if you know the story.
No, I don't.
But just turned 30 in February, and right before I turned 30, I got diagnosed with like thyroid cancer, and I had like a big lymph node spread. 0 symptoms, just like a bump.
Yeah.
And I had that bump probably throughout the pandemic, but I thought it was like my lymph node, and I was probably a little like, don't check, I don't have it.
Yeah.
And I think because of how healthy and active I am, it never spread. I never really had any issues, but I had a lot of complications with the lymph nodes in this area. But anyway, Sloan Kettering is a very good research cancer hospital, and so is MD Anderson, which is in Houston.
Okay.
I've just never been to Houston in my life, so
Yeah.
I was like, all my post-op I did in New York.
Yeah.
So this is like the 6-month check.
Got it.
See the surgeon, everybody okay, I'm good, and then
Wow.
I'll come back.
You got to come on my podcast because I have a lot of questions.
Yeah.
About that.
I would love to. We'll make it happen for sure. But other than that, I'll see some friends. I'll go to Carbone. I'll dine, see some friends.
Carbone.
Yeah.
Sloan Kettering.
Yeah.
That's
Bing, bang.
amazing. Well, I'm glad you're feeling good and healthy. That's awesome.
Yeah. It definitely. That's kind of why I was curious of like, how do you use those challenging times?
Yeah. And I get what you mean by being a healthy and fit person. And I guess like for me, even when just how much I take care of my health. I was having a whole issue, and this is not on the same level, but when I was having severe acne, I was like, why is this happening to me? I take care of myself so well.
Right.
Like, anything that goes wrong, you're like, why?
Why me?
Yeah.
Like, why is this? Yeah. Yeah.
So
and
I understand.
for sure. And then it ends up being just a part of your identity and your foundation, your pillars, I call them, that you can just kind of stand on when things get hard. And, so that's great.
It's like I've been through hard things before.
Yeah. What do you do now so you don't burn out now being at this level? You got to smile like, no, she's burnt out.
She's laughing at me because she knows I'm currently burnt out.
Okay.
No, I mean...
Ideally, what would you be doing?
Totally. I think that's where things like horseback riding, like having a hobby and something you truly love comes in, and doing that on the weekend, doing something to get your mind off things, having a wellness routine, the sauna, the cold plunge, meditating, whatever it may be, those things daily, I think are really, really helpful. I think, you know what? I think burnout's kind of inevitable. Yeah. A little bit. I think it's almost impossible to prevent. It's about knowing like how to get through the burnout, you know?
Real quick, because like I really appreciate you acknowledging that, because you could open your phone now and scroll and you'll see an influencer with some queued up nice Beethoven music, and it's like, I wake up, I look at light, I journal, I do this, and it's like everything is peachy. But I'm always like, but what do you do when it doesn't work? Or like when like something else happens.
And you know what? It doesn't always work. Right. Like that is just the truth. You could have the most elaborate wellness routine, and the whole time you're like, oh my god, like, I'm always thinking about work. I'm always thinking about my next podcast or the next meeting or the next product. Sure, it's impossible not to. And I think just finding the fun in it, and also reminding myself, I don't have to do this. I get to do this. I think that mindset switch of like, this is a privilege. I'm lucky that I'm in this position. Well, I don't like the word lucky because we all work. Fortunate. But truly, like, some people are going to work every day and hating what they do, and I love what I do. Right. Burnout happens when you work constantly and work hard, and I think just knowing that it will pass, and then going on trips like this, I get to work and meet people, and it's exciting. I think things like this also help, you know, because then I'm not doing the same day to day that I do. Sure. You know what I mean? Yeah. Getting out of the same environment is helpful.
Got it. Well, okay. We touched up on quite a bit. I didn't make you cry.
No.
So that's good.
Not yet.
Right? Not yet. But this has been a privilege and a blast. And I'm really hoping Austin is your, next destination. Yeah. Excited to be a little bit more involved in, what you're doing. And I'm going to order up some blooms. So should you.
No, we're going to send you some.
Okay, thank you.
I should have brought you some today.
Thank you. Because, 2.5-year-old toddlers, diapers, wipes.
I got you. I got you. Send you a big goodie bag. Yeah.
If you had the last message, Mari Llewellyn, you got a middle name?
No, yeah, you don't need to know it. That's fine.
Okay, that's fine. What should people know when they're finding your page, finding your product?
Yeah. I'd say if you're coming to my page or tuning into the podcast, it's called Pursuit of Wellness for a reason. I feel like I'm still learning, and, I'm in different evolutions of my wellness journey. When I first started, I felt like I had it all figured out, but now there's so many more studies coming out. We're all still learning. So my goal with the podcast is to have honest conversations where I'm learning different perspectives. I talk to carnivore diet people, I talk to plant-based people, I talk to doctors, I talk to fertility experts, whatever it may be. I'm open to discussion, and if you come listen to me, that's what you're going to get too. So join me on my pursuit of wellness. That's what I would say.
I love that. Well, I'm in.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. So this is a very big part. I have to click this twice.
Okay.
And then it stops. Okay.
Give it the double click.
Okay. I think we're good.